You know how I'm rocking, man. It's D-Rose from 600, man.
Yeah, look.
What's out there?
My niece came and she told me that my son was got shot in the head because he was coming from the store and he was on his way home, him and a few of his friends.
Have Chief Keef tried to contact you or something like that? Because he was big on yelling your name out. Any of those guys kind of call you like Chief Keef or Lil Durk now?
You know my bone was $100,000.
No, I didn't know that.
I went through trial with no lawyer. So, just sum it up, right? You left me hungry, no lawyer. Bill said ain't no more 100 or 2 quarters. Chiraq Taladina and I'm Talahin. Can't really make do Billy. While I'm darling. I want Dirk to do it more. I want him to bring all them to the mosque on Juma just so they can sit down and listen to the Imam talk. You know about the Holy Quran and just see how beautiful it is, and hopefully it bring them what it bring us, you know, like peace and just humbleness and.
Ayo squad, what's the drill? Back with another video, man. Chicago has created stars, but also took away the life and freedom of many that had the talent to go big. One of Chicago's biggest legends in the trenches is facing the consequences of being one of the wildest to pick up a strap. He was respected, loved, and feared. His name? D-Rose 600. Sentenced to 40 years for a body, D-Rose felt friends like Durk and Chief Keef left him hanging when he got in a jam. Still thugging behind bars with the ops, has D-Rose's time behind bars turned him even more savage, or has he chosen the righteous path? We're gonna find out. So without further ado, let's skip the play and get down to business. When you hear conversations of Chicago's most treacherous in the trenches, the name D-Rose always comes up. Growing up in the Chi, he was well respected as a BD. His notoriety was known at a very young age. A young OG, cool with many sets, but D-Rose was different. He was cold-blooded towards his ops, always trying to stretch something and smoking on the op pack.
I'm tired of smoking Tuka, so, you know, this one I'm finna be smoking at. It's called Lamar.
But he had heart and respected his elders, even his ops' parents, and would check anybody if they wasn't going by the code. Maybe that side was foreshadowing his true purpose in life, and he needed to go down this dark path to see the light. But before he got there, he left a lot of his ops wishing to see the light of another day. When it came to 600 and his homies, he wasn't to be messed with. Always pulled up, it was no surprise him and T-Roy was cool. They had a passion for catching ops lacking.
Yeah, look.
What's out there?
D-Rose's legacy was already in writing of legends. With every op, he instilled fear in. Ops was getting ran down on, dissed, and even beat down in broad daylight. No matter how much they tried to catch D-Rose lacking, he came out untouched by their shots.
Late night, me and Maintain, you know, they was just shooting at our legs of King David.
D-Rose was a problem for the ops, and no matter what it was, from Tuka, his brother Lil Mark, right to Lil JoJo, D-Rose was smoking on everything that disrespected his gang in them.
Duggo, Junebug, JoJo.
Soon D-Rose hopped on the drill wave like his partners Rondo Number 9, Chief Keef, Fredo Santana, Lil Reese, and Durkio. He was gonna be something big for sure.
I know that.
New shit coming
So I know.
But his rise was about to fall and fall hard. Reports stated that on Wednesday 12th of February 2014, Vinzel Richardson of Dunbar High School was walking with 2 other teens in the 6100 block of South Vernon Avenue about 8:20 p.m. when a white van pulled up and a gunman inside opened fire. Richardson, who was walking home from a convenience store, was hit 4 times, including his head, and passed at the scene.
My niece came and she told me that my son was dead, got shot in the head because he was coming from the store and he was on his way home, him and a few of his friends. And as he was coming home, a van just opened up and started shooting at the crowd. He was not an attentive target
His moms was furious that cops labeled her son as a gang member and said he was a good kid not involved in anything, but that's her mom's compassion talking. Many parents don't put down their kids out of love, but some really don't know that their kids have a second lifestyle, so she could have very well not have known.
Going on in this neighborhood, and they just shoot any and everybody with no remorse. And my baby was one of the fatalities.
And you're saying he was in the ROTC?
He was in the ROTC. He played football. He played his video games. He was a respectable child. Vinzel, this is my son.
But Vinzel is said to have claimed Taekwon World, and it's not only been in pics and vids with members, but they have repped his name in songs like the highly disrespectful banger Taekwon Way, with folks in them dissing every op block along with 600.
600K, Front Street K, Savage Squad K, O-Block Killer. You know how you rock.
In the track they dropped the bars, I'll have them Vinzel villains take off with that 8-ball. Take his face off, Taekwon Way, we in the playoffs. And then again saying, Wooski and Lil Twan put ninjas in dirt. 007 put in all of that work. Nina flirt for Vinzel, we super turned. In a rare video I got a hold of, Vinzel, or Big V as they would call him, can be seen in the blue striped shirt dissing BDs by cracking trays in the hood with the gang in them.
You already know. Squad.
D-Rose would get hemmed up as one of the people who pulled the trigger taking Vinzel's life and was arrested and cleared. But the ops wasn't letting that slide and doubled back after D-Rose was pointed out in a photo lineup by an eyewitness as the hitter. D-Rose was found guilty and sentenced to 40 years for the body. With his sentence, the harsh realities of what he was facing behind bars began to be exposed. D-Rose was fighting for his life and lost, and according to an exclusive 2018 jail call interview, he revealed the fallout between him and his homies Chief Keef and Lil Durk, who he feels abandoned him in his time of need. When asked if Keef and Durk reached out to him while he was locked up, D-Rose responds saying that he went to trial with no lawyer and sat with a $100K bond for 3 years. So that's self-explanatory with how they left him hanging.
Have Chief Keef tried to contact you or something like that? Because he was big on yelling your name out. Any of those guys kind of call you like Chief Keef or Lil Durk them?
You know my bond was $100,000.
No, I didn't know that.
I went through trial with no lawyer. So, just sum it up, right? I went to trial with no lawyer, and I sat on a $100,000 bond for like 3 years.
In another jail call where he freestyled, he again spoke on the situation, rapping, "Ninjas left me hungry with no lawyer."
Just left me hungry, no lawyer. Bill said, ain't no more 100 or 2 quarters.
Some of his peoples was outraged at Keef and them for how they did Rose after everyone was shouting him in songs as Trench Brothers.
Don't make me call you Rose, boy. He's 600, boy.
D-Rose has always said he's innocent and he was falsely imprisoned. Him and his peoples felt the type of way that he was left to fend for himself with his case. King Von would later check someone in the comments speaking on the situation, stating that he's handling D-Rose's lawyer, so he probably heard about D-Rose sitting in there alone and stepped up for his partner. Sadly, it was too late because D-Rose lost that trial. His troubles behind bars didn't end that fight in this case. This was only the beginning. D-Rose, now with 40 years ahead of him, had to thug it out to survive. That was right up his alley because D-Rose always been about it. The only made things worse for him though, because documents hit online showing that D-Rose was giving the beats to an inmate. That got D-Rose under the spotlight for the law to try to add more charges for his reckless behavior. D-Rose was still D-Rose, whether in the trenches or inside a cell. 2019 would come around and more reports would pop on popular urban news platforms like Vlad TV, stating that D-Rose appealed his sentence and it was denied. D-Rose was trying to gain back his freedom and prove his innocence, but the court wasn't having it. His homie Tay 600 would do an interview calling possible cap on the reports of his appeal, stating that he spoke to his fam and they said the appeal didn't begin as of yet.
You even had legit, bloggers and sites posting it, but from what I was told from his people, his family, his immediate family, it's not true. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it would have been a little too quick anyway. The process, if anything, would have just started It wasn't, from what I was told, it wasn't true.
One other important thing that Tay 600 let out the bag that nobody knew was that for the first year of his sentence, D Rose was in segregation, meaning he wasn't allowed to do any activities or interact with any inmates. One reason for this would be due to him being labeled as a danger to other inmates, and this ties in with his altercation where he beat the brakes off another prisoner, so that could be why they put him in seg. D Rose was having a rocky start to his sentence. Still, when it came to his appeal, there's been debates on whether or not he lost. That's until what appeared to be official documents surfaced, breaking down his case in full detail. If you'd like a separate video just on the case and how they got him jammed up from the body, let me know in the comments. The other important thing in the document was it focused also on the appeal, and it stated that D Rose did in fact file for appeal on September 30 of 2019. The grounds of D Rose's appeal were on two things. The first was that the courts mentioned Rondo number 9 and C-Day name in the case, stating that he was with them the day before the body, but Rondo number 9 and C-Day were found guilty for the hit of Javon Boyd. So D Rose is saying that tying them into his name already add bias to the case to how the jury views him. The second point he used in his appeal was that detectives placed him in a photo lineup after speaking to the mom of an eyewitness, which he said should have been inadmissible out-of-court identification by the mother. Sadly, the court denied the appeal. According to the documents, the state responded saying Rondo and C-Day were relevant to the case because witnesses said the van they stopped them in the day before the hit was the same type of van used to carry out the drive-by. On the other hand, the detective who allegedly placed D Rose as a suspect due to a witness's mother denies ever testifying to that, and they shut down that claim as D Rose didn't have enough proof and error was made. With that, the appeal was denied. D Rose had to go back to the drawing board. Still, he wasn't giving up. Instead, he poured his frustration and time into rap. Jail interview freestyles like the one he did on the call with Bezu started surfacing.
What Rose at?
The whole thing. Give me the whole thing.
Salam alaikum. What's up, broski?
Walaikum salam. What's up, bro? I love you. I miss you.
I love you. I miss you too, bro. Y'all live on photo. Y'all got a deuce on this bitch. Let's get it. Let them hit that shit, Rose.
I was just sure recently. Even be having her full moon like Christy. Girl, pull yourself together, have some decent. Can't snitch cause I got dignity. You can't bat me, but you can lease me. Me go get it out of Fifi.
D Rose wasn't just rapping for rapping's sake. When asked in another jail interview if he plans to drop any heat on the streets head top, D Rose responded saying he got some bangers on the way. At least bro was starting to do something productive with his time, but that didn't mean that prison wasn't on his head. Turns out, things were bad behind them walls with D Rose. One of his partners told Bezu on a jail call that they couldn't reach out or call because the prison is having them on lockdown, treating them unfairly.
What, y'all just on lockdown or something? Why the f y'all ain't been calling? Y'all was on lockdown?
Hell yeah. Bro, we been on lockdown for a month, bro. On Nick, bro, that's why I hate being down here, bro. They be caging us in, bro.
Things seem like it's been going downhill for D Rose behind bars, but in December 2020, something amazing happened. D Rose hopped on a jail interview on the Black Dawah Network and YouTube channel, and his first words to the interviewer was of the Muslim faith. Now many rappers claim to be Muslim, so maybe he was just behind bars reading and educating himself on the faith. But in a later jail interview in 2022, on the same platform, he came on and recited what I assume is a Muslim prayer, all in the language of the Muslim faith. The brother is really changing his life for the better.
I want to say my Fatiha on her, and like what we said before, like,
D Rose was dedicated to doing and being better. Doubling back to his 2020 interview, he flipped the script, talking to rappers about the real op, the white supremacists, and vowed to dedicate his new path to doing good and leading the change, to breaking the system and spread love to broken gang cultures like the one that molded him. D Rose really grew up and matured and found his spirituality. When asked about the passing of his homie Von and about revenge, he did the opposite of what we normally see portrayed in music. D Rose spoke from the heart, telling Dirk and everybody revenge isn't the way, because it only pushes more hurt, and to spread positivity and be better and be good.
My people just look like what he mean, they just have people view me as like D Rose, like he bad. This way he gon' want revenge, and this, then the third, like, hell no, I don't want revenge. I don't want revenge, I don't want them.
D D-Rose said his goal is to lead rappers promoting the gang lifestyle and murking to the Muslim faith to bring them the same peace, happiness, and love it did for him.
I want Dirk to do it more. I want him to bring all of them to the mosque on Juma just so they can sit down and listen to the Imam talk. You know about the Holy Quran and just see how beautiful it is, and hopefully it bring them what it bring us, you know, like peace and just humbleness. And
he really changed things around, and I gotta respect it, and we gotta support that move for him. Hopefully, his change inspires the rest of the men in them to do their thing and be on their positive vibes as well. And hopefully it lasts. So until next time, stay smart, stay alert, and stay real. I'm out, y'all.